The Dark Ages is a term for the early Middle Ages, c. 5th, 10th centuries, or occasionally the entire Middle Ages, c. 5th, 15th centuries, in Western Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, which characterizes it as marked by economic, intellectual, and cultural decline. The concept of a Dark Age as a historiographical periodization originated in the 1330s, with the Italian scholar Petrarch, who regarded the post-Roman centuries as dark compared to the light of classical antiquity. The term employs traditional light versus darkness imagery to contrast the era's darkness, ignorance, and error, with earlier and later periods of light, knowledge, and understanding. The phrase Dark Age itself derives from the Latin saeculum obscurum, originally applied by Caesar Baronius in 1602 when he referred to a tumultuous period in the 10th and 11th centuries. The concept thus came to characterize the entire Middle Ages as a time of intellectual darkness in Europe between the fall of Rome and the Renaissance, and became especially popular during the 18th century Age of Enlightenment. Others, however, have used the term to denote the relative scarcity of records regarding at least the early part of the Middle Ages. As the accomplishments of the era came to be better understood in the 19th and the 20th centuries, scholars began restricting the Dark Ages appellation to the early Middle Ages, c. 5th, 10th century. And today's scholars also reject its usage for the period. The majority of modern scholars avoid the term altogether because of its negative connotations, finding it misleading and inaccurate. Despite this, Petrarch's pejorative meaning remains in use, particularly in popular culture, which often simplistically views the Middle Ages as a time of violence and backwardness. The idea of a Dark Age originated with the Tuscan scholar Petrarch in the 1330s. Writing of the past, he said, "Amidst the errors there shone forth men of genius, no less keen were their eyes, although they were surrounded by darkness and dense gloom." Christian writers, including Petrarch himself, had long used traditional metaphors of light versus darkness to describe good versus evil. Petrarch was the first to give the metaphor secular meaning by reversing its application. He now saw classical antiquity, so long considered a dark age for its lack of Christianity, in the light of its cultural achievements, while Petrarch's own time, allegedly lacking such cultural achievements, was seen as the age of darkness. From his perspective on the Italian peninsula, Petrarch saw the Roman period and classical antiquity as an expression of greatness. He spent much of his time traveling through Europe, rediscovering and republishing classic Latin and Greek texts. Stay tuned for more interesting episode of History Unfolded.